welcome to today's video. And what you see in front of you now is a template that is based on weather personalization. So currently it's displaying Sydney, where when this was done was 24 degrees. We could jump Los Angeles and things might change. It's 24 and 28 degrees centigrade in both Los Angeles and Sydney, so no changes. But hey, Reykjavik, 2 degrees. All of a sudden we get other recommendations, and Tokyo, where it's 15, you get, and it's apparently rainy as well, so you get things to wear in the rain. So the whole idea of today's video is to go through how this is done. It is all based on a free API that doesn't cost anything, and the data we will just pull with JavaScript and Automation Studio. But without further ado, let's jump in and see how this is all done. Alright, so first things first, we of course need to get weather data if we're gonna do some personalization based on weather. So in my case here, I'm using something called Open-Meteo or Open-Meteo, or however you pronounce that. And what you see in front of you is just the URL I'm rendering right now in my browser, and it gives us a bunch of data. You don't need to know this data by heart. There is a documentation for it, but it describes things as rainfall. It has weather codes depending on if it's clear, cloudy, sunny, what the max temperature per day is, etc, etc. So I'm just showing you this now, so you know that there is a service. It's free. It's called Open-Meteo, and it looks like this if you call it. And this is what we're gonna do inside of Marketing Cloud, and then we're gonna store this in a good way. So let's look on that now. All right, so we are now inside Marketing Cloud in Contact Builder, where I have a folder with free data extensions. So before we can populate any data, we of course need somewhere to put it. So if we start here by looking at the cities table, you will see here that there is these kind of fields: city ID, city name, country, latitude, longitude, and time zone. And this just gives us a good spread where we're gonna put different cities in this, so we're pretty sure that there will be different weather. As you saw in my example previous, I had Tokyo, Reykjavik, Los Angeles. It's most certainly different weather in those cities. Anyways, that's data extension 1. All of these will be clearly marked and displayed in the GitHub repository that will be linked to this video. But besides cities, we also need weather data, and here we also have a bunch of fields. Maybe something to pay extra attention to is called the weather category. That is the field that will tell us if it's sunny, rainy, cold, or snowy. Basically what's gonna drive this personalization. But just to show you how it looks like, everything will be written down for you, so don't need to memorize everything now. And lastly, as you saw, I had 5 subscribers, and they also had different city IDs, as you could see in my example. So that let us test this and see. When Emma lives in Sydney, she gets one type of weather. Yuki, who lives in Tokyo, she gets another one, and Olaf in Svalbard gets another, and so forth. So that's pretty it for data extensions. Let's now take a look at the JavaScript and see how we populate the API data into a data extension. So that's what we're gonna do now. All right, so I said that we were gonna look at the SSJS that we use to that will run in Automation Studio for us and populate the DE with the weather data. Now I'm not gonna go over this in very good details. I just give you an overview what everything does here. But we will start up here defining our cities with latitude and longitude. This is needed for Open-Meteo later to fetch each city. So each city must have its own latitude and longitude, of course. And this is the weather data we looked at before. And for each city here, we loop over them, give it a call to Open-Meteo to get the data back. We use this with HTTP GET, and then we get JSON back. We will parse this, and from the data, we will calculate a 7-day average temperature. Because if you want to have in the email how the week is going to be, this is what we need. I can also say that before doing this, I wasn't a weather geek, but all of this is in documentation. So to get the data you need, it's quite easy if you just sit down and read it. Anyways, what comes down here is basically the brain of the system, where everything is in codes, and we get the weather code, daily temperature, and we will just have a default of cloudy. So cloudy in our emails will be if we don't either have any special weather, or if we didn't get the weather, it will just be cloudy, and just decide to push any products that would fit cloudy weather. That's the whole idea. Anyways, then this if else will start to see, and you see like 71, 77, 51 to 67. These are all numbers used in weather related APIs and systems. Something that I just saw, I did it. So 7177 means snowy, 5167 means rainy, and so on. And sunny here should have cold must be below 1 or equal 1, and the temp should be over 15 degrees. And if it's just cold, it's just below 5. So it kind of determines what kind of weather it is. This is what does it, and this is also what later will be used in emails. When we have all this data pulled from I forget what it's called, Open-Meteo, then we can build an object to populate. These are all fields that will go in the data extension we took a look at before. And when we have all that, we will just try to do an upsert. So if the row is already in there, we'll just update it. If it's not, we will add it. And in this case, I just have silent error. Perhaps if you do this for real, you might want to log something here if something crashes. Also, another thing that to mention is that right now these ones are hard-coded in the script. You might want to pull in the cities and latitude and longitude, etc. Dynamically if you have a lot of cities to go through. But this is the logic behind it. Will be in the GitHub repository that comes with this video, so you can take a good look for yourself. And let's see here. Now we can jump to a CloudPage, because always when I try to run stuff in SSJS with Marketing Cloud, it's always good to just make sure it works on a CloudPage before you jam it in Automation Studio. Because in Automation Studio you can't see anything, but you can in CloudPage. So that's my idea that we'll go and look at that now. Right, I just told you that we will just jump in here into CloudPage to see how our script performs. And as I just mentioned, when doing JavaScript or SSJS in Automation Studio, it's sometimes very helpful to do this first in CloudPage to see if something goes wrong. You can use the right functions to see, basically console log, to see what's going on. So I'll just show that by adding a landing page here with their script, like that, blank, and it will be exactly the same script you just saw. It will just have, it will just write out what's it doing. for us. So blank page, put it in. I will also leave this in the repository. Let's save, and then so you can see here, we actually don't even have to publish it because it all is for us. So we can see that everything worked out great for Sydney, Los Angeles, Reykjavik, Tokyo, etc. We have all the data needed to build a weather personalization. So that's great. Now you have seen the script, you have seen what we pulled from Open-Meteo and how you can also debug this in a good way if needed. So with that said, let's see here. So with that said, let's now, when we know everything is working, let's now jump into Automation Studio, where we will set this script up. It will populate the DEs for us, and from that we can then start building our email, or at least look at the one I've already built. So let's do that. Right, so time to just have a quick look how this looks in Automation Studio. So we'll just jump right in there, and I will show you how this is all set up. Don't have much in here, but I do have my daily weather fetch, and you can see it's only one script activity, very easy. And if you would like to replicate what I have here, what you would do is you will just find this script in the left here and just put it in. Since that is already done, we can just take a look. We have here, and looks exactly like the script we looked at before, both in GitHub page and the CloudPage. So this is just the CloudPage without the comments that will populate our DE with weather data for these cities. So we can just have a quick run, but before we do, let's just have a quick look at, here are the data extensions that will also be in the GitHub repo with all the fields and everything. But the thing we will populate today is weather data. And if we go in here, this is something that I ran a few weeks ago. It ran on the 23rd of March 2026. Today it's the 10th of April when I'm recording this. So now we just have a before and after is my take when I'm showing you this. So let's jump in here. Just save, run once, click run, and it will should update this with some new values. All right, it's finished. 10th of April, then it should say 10th of April if we reload here. Will also be interesting because we get to know what kind of weather they have in Sydney and Los Angeles and Reykjavik and so on. Let's see where I put this one. Sitting here, yes. Here we have it. Records. Well, how about that? 10th of April. In Sydney, the daily temperature will be 30. That's warm. Reykjavik 6. Tokyo 20, and Svalbard has actually 2 degrees. So there you have it, the Automation Studio setup for this. Let's now, when we have all the data and everything in our data extension, we now have everything to build out the email. So that's what we're gonna take a look on now. All right, so now we are here in the email that we're gonna take a look on. You remember the email I showed you in the beginning of this video? So we'll jump right in. We'll remember this one that changes depending on what kind of weather it is. So in Tokyo it's apparently rain on the way, 20 degrees, but in Svalbard it's 2 degrees, snow is falling, and some winter boots. Okay, we have rain jackets, etc. So with this little section of the video, I would just like to show you how, or walk through how this email is done. So before anything else, we have our AMP script starting at the top, and it's basically just a lot of if and else based on the weather data we now have in our data extension. So we get their values from the data extension, what city they are from, what their first name is, so we can say hello Charles in Sydney. And then the weather category, those are the ones that are sunny or rainy or whatever it can be. Here we have them rainy and cold and snowy and so on. And then we also take a look on the other data that we received. So we set all that in the beginning, and once we have all that set in the top of the email, we can then decide what we're gonna put as a dynamic subject line or pre-header. So these ones that you see up here will change depending on what kind of weather it is. So if we go here, rain in Tokyo, we got you covered. Week ahead averaging 20 degrees, stay dry, rain day picks. And in Svalbard, it's snow in Svalbard, week ahead averaging 2 degrees, embrace the winter wonderland. So that's how those works. And we also have a fallback. It's set to cloudy. I don't really know what a default weather is, so that's why I picked cloudy. You can pick whatever feels good to you. And then we had the subject line, right? And then the HTML email just comes down here. You will probably have your own email, but you can see here that we have a lot of AMP script here, like if weather category is sunny, then we're gonna do this, saying like clear skies ahead with a sunny thing, and so on and so on. And also a little bit of a bonus tip that is actually in here. You can see that here it says if today temp is greater or equal to 25, then we're gonna show you summer dress or classic sunglasses, because it's a little bit different if it's sunny and 2 degrees Celsius or centigrade, or if it's 25. That's a big difference. So when this email was done, I was playing around with different variations for different temperatures in the same weather category. So that is just how everything works here. And it just continues here, like else if category is rainy, then we're gonna do this, rain in the forecast, and yada yada. If the temp is over than 20, then we're gonna say you only need a light poncho, stay dry, blah blah blah. And that's how the whole email basically looks like. It's just a lot of if and else here. Not gonna go over all of them, but all of it will be in the repository that will be linked to this video, so you can take a good look for yourself. Good. And we have already looked at it. That's also great. So let's just take one last look here. I'm a little bit curious how it looks in Los Angeles and Sydney. 30 degrees, wow. Currently 30 degrees ahead, weekly 24, check out our pics. Yeah, looks good, works, excellent. So with that, I think we covered everything that made this possible. And this is of course about a weather API, but I think this is still a good video if you're thinking about pulling some data from some external APIs, bring it into Marketing Cloud and do some personalization on it. The principle will be the same, whatever data is that you're pulling. This time it was weather data, maybe next time it is some other data that fits your business perfectly. To be honest, it's probably rare that anyone would use weather data a lot, but I think it's a fun use case. If you are gonna use weather data though, you could definitely scale this up and make it more granular. Like instead of just picking their city, you could go on their zip code perhaps, build some logic to pull in weather for all the zip codes in one country, store them in a data extension. You will know exactly that John Thomas, who lives in zip code yada yada, he will have exactly this weather. That's hyper personalization at scale. And of course, you could also add wind, humidity, UV index, or be even more specific. And as always, if you're gonna do it, do some A/B tests. That's always good to see if it actually gets you somewhere. But any kind of personalization is always good. So hope you liked the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.